My car's gone in for a service today, so the people at Ringwood Mazda have lent me this. So we're going to take a few measurements to see how they vary. Mine, of course, has got a bull bar with a winch, some side steps. There's a tow bar at the back on both of them, although slightly different tow bars. We'll take a few measurements and see how they stack up. Mine's got standard suspension as well, just like this one, and it does suffer from the extra weight of the extra features. So let's take a look. So now I've got my Mazda back. Let's have a look at how the different measurements match up. Given that this car has got no suspension modifications and no tyre modifications to it. So we'll take the measurement from the middle of the hub up to the top of the wheel arch. So from down there, up here, it's hard to see in the black, isn't it? About 54 centimetres, 540 millimetres. Now with the bull bar, the winch and the scrub bars, we're down to 510 millimetres. Right, down here at the bash plate of the stock vehicle, let's have a look. About 250, maybe 255 millimetres. Right now on my Mazda, with the bull bar, the winch and the brush bars, the lowest point down 230 millimetres. Now here's a measurement I think is a bit underrated. If we're looking down on top of the Mazda badge, right over the top, you see how far out it protrudes. Well, the actual bumper bar protrudes. It's only 20 or 30 millimetres. Now again on my vehicle, looking at the protrusion of the bull bar, let's take a look. So to the front of this TJM bar, the bar itself, and the light bar in fact that you can see here, which is kind of flush with the front of the actual bar, it's around about 120 millimetres, around about 150 millimetres to the front of the actual number plate. And bear in mind too, the up the front here, these verticals on the bull bar also poke out another, what's that, 35 millimetres. Right, so here on the standard Mazda bar, the bar itself comes to about 160 millimetres, and over where the rubber protrudes at the front there at the verticals, it's about another 20 millimetres beyond that. Now at one point where my car is going to be very different to the standard Mazda Ute is right here, going to the sill, 400 millimetres. Back here, if you want to get picky, to the chassis, 340 millimetres. Clearly with my side steps, things are going to be very different to the standard Ute. So, down here at the bracket, and 265 millimetres. The actual sill itself, 275 millimetres. And one more thing to consider, we take a closer look. Under here, I have my Piranha second battery. It does hang down a bit lower than the chassis, but just like the side steps, the pros absolutely outweigh the cons. I use this every single day, and I know for a fact with these side steps, without them, sill damage is terrible for a car, for resale, for repairs. You damage the actual sills to the car, you're in a world of hurt. So let's take a look at how low this does hang down at 260 millimetres. Strictly speaking as well, for argument's sake, the chassis at this point, 300 millimetres. So yeah, it's a little bit lower, but without doubt worth it. Here's a fun difference, and I'll try and shoot this as objectively as possible. I don't have accurate ways to measure the actual angles, but let's take a look at the approach angle and the departure angle. Now, it's hard to do this objectively without some sort of scale, but The angle here is pretty good, and importantly, there's not actually much here in front of the tyre. Now, for comparison's sake and poor photographic composition, let me shoot straight across the back so you can see where the bull bar stops and the bumper bar. Right, now, and you can see in my case, the departure angle is pretty good. There's actually just a lot of ground clearance behind the box. As well as that, it's somewhat protected by the tow bar as well. That usually, touch wood, hits the ground before the boxes do. Let's check out the distance between the bottom of the tow bar and the ground. So this is a tub tray, obviously. And it's 400 mil to the lowest point of the bar. Now this one's going to be a bit different to mine, of course, because I've got a tray back and the tow bar is set a bit higher. If we take a look here at some minor detail, under here you can see the cabling for the trailer electrics. They run under the bar. You notice on my car it's actually run over the top, because when you are out bush you do tend to slam the back end down into stuff. To be honest, that's mostly what I use my tow bar for. It's a bit of rear end protection, so having the cabling run underneath I don't feel is quite ideal. Just for comparison, here's mine. There's the cable over the top. Now, speaking of the tow bar, this is the tray back version. The tub version has the bar about another 100 mil lower, but it's really the full thickness of the bar down lower, travelling along directly with the tow hitch itself. You can see here it's stepped up on the tray back version, stepped up, and the main bar runs across above the actual tow hitch. So, in clearance to the tow hitch, 400 millimeters. To the corners of the bar, 480 millimeters. There's no two ways about it. I really like the modifications I made in the bull bar, the brush bars, the side steps, the winch. But my car needs aftermarket suspension. Ideally some tyres as well, make it look a bit nicer. But yeah, if you're going to put a bull bar on, suspension counts, and certainly in my experience, even just over speed humps and so on, the suspension on this will bottom out in the front end really quickly. So I'm looking forward to it, hopefully soon, to get another 50 mil suspension lift.